You just tolerating it. Temporary, one aspect of it, like you said. But then again, on the other hand, it denotes, oh, we're just trying to be, you know, we just putting up with these subhuman people. So you got to look at even the play on words, racial tolerance. What the fuck does that mean? And why do they say things like that? And knowing the white man, you understand what I'm saying? You best believe it means what it means. We just tolerating your ass. And in so many words, historically, even when you deal with how they tolerated us in the 70s and made us think that we free, and then came and snatched all your little affirmative action and all your other stuff from us. It's literally what they said. We was only tolerating your ass.
They got that forked tongue.
Forked tongue, but it's based on what's expedient to us. We tolerate you until we had enough of what we planned, or when our goals and objectives are met, and we put your ass back in slavery. You see. So a couple of movies. Go get the movie Nightlife, 1990, with the guy Ben Cross. It's a vampire movie, but when they take this vampire blood, the woman blood, a hematologist, he said this is some interesting blood, because it's jumping and it's dancing all around and it never stops moving. So in actuality, they're telling you about melanin. Because remember in Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles, her whole vampire, Lestat and all of them come from a line traced back to Akasha, and Akasha means black one. But also Akasha becomes a vampire by doing what? Being bit by a vampire called what? Or an entity called what? Amel. Melanin. But even in your Sumerian, Gilgamesh, Babylonian creation, especially in your Babylonian creation, Amel is a literal entity. In this case, it's the form of Osiris. Marduk himself is basically a tyrant that puts mankind in prison. But whenever you get Amel Marduk, that just means the physical body of the black man. And Amel Marduk just means the black god, or the god black. This is in Sumerian mythology also. Get Superman 1, the movie Superman 1. And just look at the first 20 minutes of the movie. From his life, from the time he's born to the time he leaves the cave and understands all what he needs to understand. The rest of the movie is just basically bullshit. But those movies are the first, is one of the greatest aspects because it's dealing with the ancient mythology of the Christ growing up. In America. In America. But he tells him in the movie, Glenn Ford tells him, because he's showing off running down the street to show off with his partners that's in high school, that this senior superlative and they're all big time, and he's just a damn water boy. Or the t-shirt towel boy. He shows off and beats them, and his boys say, listen, his father comes and say, you've been showing off. Because he runs and he beats them home before they can get there in the car because he's Superman. And the guy said, you showing off. And he said, look, he said, I know you wanted to be a part of this whole high school thing, sports and all that. He said, you were sent here because you are special. Now, I don't know what you are special for, but one thing you are not special, one thing that your gift and your talents is for being down here, it ain't running touchdowns. See? They giving a message even in 78 about the goddamn niggas. Your monkey ass using your talent to run touchdowns for the cracker. He said, whatever you for, it's not running touchdowns.
That's right.
See? The whole key in the movie, even with your kryptonite, that ain't nothing melanin. He's superhuman outside of his planet, but the rock represents a part of him that is left behind. That media, kryptonite, that's all melanin is. We'll go deeper into that also if you need to understand more. Go back and get the movie Golden Child. A lot of science dropped in that.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy. You see what I'm saying? Get that particular movie, look at it again. Go back and look at the movie Never Ending Story, because they talk about the childlike queen who is sick. There's always somebody sick that needs to be healed by a vessel on a high level. That vessel is melanin. So here it goes again, talking about an ancient people who is now sick. She's a childlike emperor, and the emperor is always a noble or royal people. Remember, white royalty is fake. They're copying the Moors, the Africans. In order to be royal, you got to have the royal blood or the blood royal, and blood royal just means melanin.
Right.
When the blackness of the melanin mix or the blueness of the melanin mix with the red, you get purple. And purple, the purple heart, the royal.
Break it down.
So the Europeans are an illusion of royalty. It can never be royal. Or the blood royal or the royal blood. That's melanin. Comes from the word kingu. In the Sumerian, king. Kingu is this ancient entity, ancient black entity that was around before the universe started. And he is also, his ashes made human beings just like Tiamat's blood made human beings. We'll get into that also too, because we got to deal with the minstrel tonight. That there's an intelligentsia that's saying that the minstrel is wrong. And the minstrel is the highest form of alchemy. The minstrel cycle. And there's an intelligentsia that's saying that's all bullshit. But that's one of the highest forms. And when we really tap into it, it can be used as a form of combat. Especially when that particular cycle is going down. You see. So the childlike emperor is also like the Fisher King. Remember I talked about the Fisher King the last time. I told you to get the movie Fisher King, but that's the Grail mythology. The Fisher King is always an ancient king, the fish, which means Christ. And that king is now sick in a modern time. Who is sick? There's only one people that is identified as being sick on the planet Earth, and that's us. Because we are sick people. As a matter of fact, our modern day description is defined in our very essence as an insane people. In some way or the other. Being black inferiority. Inferior about your hair, your nose, your lips. The other people you see, and inferior in your thought process brought on by systematic slavery. So the Fisher King that they talk about that needs to be healed by the Christ, which is coming as Galahad or Parzival in the Grail mythology. And by the way, your Grail mythology is brought up into Europe by the Moors. The Fisher King is you. So this also identifies as the same as Lazarus. Right. Lying dead. All this stuff is about you, and it's eschatology that you must understand. All ancient scriptures written today has nothing to do with back then. This is all about a race of people that will redeem the earth, and you the ones. Number one, because you are sick, you're not in line with nature. And being not in line with nature is the only essence to make a new reality, not nature. Nature can never do anything but be nature. You have to represent something higher, and to be something, to represent something higher, you must at this time represent something opposite. We'll get into that also too, to try to understand that concept. But we need to get into that particular scientific concept. We'll deal with that also too. The movie, The Jewel, did we talk about the jewel, the Jews? You are the jewel. They call you the jewel of the Nile. Remember the movie Jewel of the Nile? Everybody was looking for a damn diamond. They looked up, it was a man. That's you. You the jewel. The stone that the builders rejected is called the philosopher's stone, which is melanin and the pineal gland. The jewel. So you are the jewel of the Nile. The scarab. The scarab is a jewel of the Nile. You getting this information? Go look at the movie Jewel of the Nile. That was the whole concept of the movie. It was a little crazy shit, you know, a little stupid movie. But the shit was, is everybody was looking for some jewel or some damn diamond, and it was a jewel. Although they showed it was an Arab boy, but it was talking about it. The Arabs of the natives was trying to protect the man when everybody was looking for the gold. Also in the Last Crusades, Indiana Jones' Last Crusades, he said she was looking for the damn prize. And the prize was illumination. She was looking for the cup. You see? So, this is the stuff. Hold on 1 minute. Let's see what else we got here. Somebody brought me, let me see, did I bring it? Somebody brought me here just the last time I was here. Somebody brought me this the last time I was here. I hope I brought it. Bear with me 1 minute. Let's see, did I bring this thing? My luck, I probably left it at the damn house. Hold on 1 minute. Hold up. Hold on 1 minute. Here it is. Somebody brought me this the last time. Here's two white people looking like the Matrix. And basically what they're advertising is the sunglasses that they have on. And the name of those sunglasses is called Cold Melanin XP. Sunglasses.
What?
That protects their eyes. So they're even taking the melanin out of us and making sunglasses out of it. Well, didn't they so supposed to do that with the Jews in Nazi Germany, make lampshades?
Ooh.
You see? So this Cold Melanin XP is the sunglasses. You see what I'm saying? You see. We're going to get into some other melanin stuff in a few minutes, but this is very interesting. And what we're telling you is that there's an entire market of everything that is related to the human body that has some melanin in it. And your behind is the ones on the other end of the stick that they're getting it from. You see what I'm saying? Also, too. Now, this is interesting because, let me show you the concept of the way white people roll. Now, whether you like it or not, they got a lot of problems. They're schizophrenic, pathological, psychopathic, white people. We already know that based on their particular nature. But let me tell you something. They still are free people. All because they enslave and oppress others, they make sure that even the most enslaved one of them, based on being mind controlled in a society, given the right circumstances, they're able to free themselves in the twinkling of an eye, whereas you will still remain a slave because you was bred that way. Now, the other week when it snowed, and they had the ice storm the first week, and they knocked out all the electricity, you know, they said, but the first thing they said was they connected up all the houses that was close together so they could pull one grid and get more people on at one time. And the ones that were scattered out, they just was shit out of luck for a couple of days. That's the way they work from the inside out. So as a result, this white boy, the one I tell you that I go to, he's a conservative. He told me he don't believe in God or none of that shit. He's a capitalist conservative. I say, so damn. You a nigga that only existed a few years ago. Who the fuck was you before there was capitalism and conservatism? But that's what he is. That's his religion. He's a patriot American capitalist conservative. But let me tell you what happened. His house was one of them houses that had to go 4 days without some heat, because they couldn't get to his ass. But with all that conservatism and all that shit, you know what? That shit went right out the damn door. With his conservative behind, it was interesting. When them white people didn't give that white boy some heat, on that third day, he was talking about overthrowing the government. He said, no, man, he said, listen. He came to me, he said, listen, we can overthrow this motherfucker right now. And at first I thought he was talking, but he kept on. I said, wait a minute, this white boy, he is serious. And not only that, too, he was trying to get a nigga, his enemy, in on to do it with him. As far as he's concerned, he didn't give a damn. If somebody was going to oppress him, he'd even turn his enemy to get off that oppression. To throw that oppression off. That white boy was talking about overthrowing the government on that third day. Now, we done had 300 years of catching hell, and he got 3 days. And he already clear about it. I'm ready to overthrow this motherfucker. And he is not some liberal white boy. He's a capitalist conservative. But all that shit went right out the door when it came to survival. You see. And that's interesting. It's the same interesting thing that I said, how this white girl, when I walk in the store, she just lights up to see me. Ask me what movies I've seen. That's the little angle. That's the little angle she could get at me. We start talking about movies one day. So she just lights up, oh, what movies you saw? Oh, she just loved me to death. So for most black people, I would be in the black community talking shit to black people about how I got good white friends. Because we do that. We get one to smile at us,
Yeah.
and we'll go back and tell a whole 1,000 niggas, fuck y'all. White people are all right. Now, isn't it interesting that that girl, now let me show you a lesson. Isn't it interesting that that girl that lights up to see me, whenever she sees me, she just lights up. I overheard her talking to the owner of the store, who is a real racist. And he said that black people ain't got no souls. And that same one that light up that you would defend and say, oh yeah, y'all wrong, y'all racist, she said, I would agree. You see the concept? This is the same one that I be walking around with and ready to damn kiss the black race goodbye because we racist. And when she heard that for the first time, it was no doubt in her mind. She said, I would agree. Because they have no problem with grinning in your face, even if invite you to their house to break bread. That will go in another room in another door with you on the other side and talk shit about you. Speak with forked tongue. And you can't understand that because of your humaneness. That's your doggone downfall. The book of the law says compassion is a vice for kings.
Yeah.
Because what it is you're compassion in a land, in a dimension, and a people, another time, a whole nother world, a whole nother time zone, a whole nother dimension. And now you got the same compassion in a fucking war zone. And kissing the enemy. We still can't understand that shit. Stick to your guns. No matter how nice somebody treats you, I don't even give a damn if they come and deliver your baby or give you a ride home when you broke down on the highway. Know who your fucking enemy is, always. You see what I'm saying? Remember I told you about the Pepsi-Cola man back in '93. I used to work up in my man's store. And he used to come up in there, how you doing? And everybody loved the little white Pepsi-Cola man. And I went out to Chamblee one day to a damn New World Order meeting. He was up in there. He walked up to me and he said, hey. He said, how you doing? You know me? I said, oh yeah, you the Pepsi-Cola man. He said, you never know who you're talking to, do you? See? We the only one that's not incognito in covert action and deep cover. Never blow your goddamn cover. So now I reverse the thing. Instead of run up, you wrong. You say we got some souls. We ain't got no souls. You wrong. The African this and the Egyptian. What the hell? You think the white man give a damn? And you think he don't know who you are? All he got to do is justify in his mind that you ain't got no souls because he defines reality. That's the way it is. So when he say we ain't got no souls, I go, I would agree. We don't have souls. Never blow your cover. That's how I'm able to come back and give you the case study. I'm undercover. I'm deep, 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 deep undercover. I'm going deep, deep, deep undercover. So my key is he talking all this stuff, must say, the guy say, yeah, you know, we need to sterilize every damn woman who have over 4 illegitimate children. We need to sterilize them. I said, you right. He said, if we get down to martyr, we need to put a soldier on every last one of them damn buses. I said, you right. But I'm telling you the information. If I blew my damn cover, I'd have been through a long time ago. You never get to know that. Don't they undercover on your ass come back and tell you stuff? Didn't come back and tell their people? Didn't Francis Cress Welsing say if they really your friend, tell them to tell you what they talk about when you're not around? So I'm not blowing my cover. Plus we ain't got a ground to stand on. He said, I got 3 blonde white girls. I think I might have told you that the last time. I got 3 blonde white girls that go to Georgia State. And he said every time they go downtown, he said it's really a degrading experience because all the black guys on the train and the bus be trying to get at them.
What?
Now, before I used to say, you know, all white women think all black men don't like them. But now, I see the bullshit every damn day. I see the bullshit. My girl work at the paper. She said that the black men up there, all of them hate black women and want white women. And not only that, they express to them white people how much they hate black women. Now, I'm telling you, but you all didn't listen to me, but you got to go back on my tapes. I'm going to say this shit one more time. The people, I'll back it up. I'll back my shit up right now with a picture. Because a picture is worth 1,000 words. Y'all all right? Sometimes we got to come down to earth just to see what's going on. Once upon a time in America, this happened over 30 years ago. Now, you got to listen to me, and you got to listen to me good. You got to listen to me good. Now, usually, if you say that nigga crazy long enough, every now and then, if you just wait a few years, all the shit I say always come true. It always does. Now, you got to listen to me and listen to me good, because I even have to check myself on this every so often. The movie Fallen. Remember the movie Fallen? With Denzel. The guy, Azazel, he called Azazel. That is the Christ energy. Otherwise, white women would be making no movie talking shit about it. You get the word Dionysus, that is the Greek Christ. Dionysus Azazel. Also, Azazel is nothing but a form of Tahuti. Staff of Tahuti, it's got a lot to do with alchemy and metaphysics, and it's the Christ inside of you, Azazel. So the night we saw the movie, we got a visit from Azazel. Because, you know, my girl, she hooked up. So they come and they just talk. He said, I'm Azazel. He said, you had something a couple of months ago, but you are now a double back because even your mind can't hold it that long. You had it a couple of months ago, and you was right. Now, what I'm getting ready to tell you is this. I say it every so often, every 6 months, or whenever I have a lecture, I say this thing. And then I forget it because it's too unbelievable to believe. But what I'm trying to tell you is the people formerly known as black people of 30 years ago don't exist no more because they've all been cloned. The only ones is a few of you all that's left behind. Because I can't see how all these black men hate black women so much. What I'm trying to tell you is based on what Azazel told us also too, and what the doggone Star Wars told you, because they wrote that in 73, before it came out in 77, based on the Clone Wars, is they started cloning black people in mass in 1975, February 1975. And I'm telling you that majority of the people you see out here used to be people that used to live on this planet Earth. And there's only a few of us left behind. And maybe that's the reason why you are conscious now and other people can't get it, because those people's original hosts died over the last 30-something years. So when this shit say once upon a time in America, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So you're going to find out when the Matrix say that everybody's your enemy. What I'm trying to tell you is this Clone War shit started over 25 years ago. And basically, because we didn't know the technology, it might be the point that majority of the people born is clones. Now go back and get the Matrix. He says, people are not born anymore, they are grown. See what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to tell you is the Clone War, the majority of the people you see walking around out there dead ain't really living. Their original host been killed a long time ago. And the reason why I say that, because I understand prophecy. And prophecy said by the 1990s, all the people, all the original people, consciousness would have come back by now. And there would have been advanced people. For the mere fact that we're only a few people in this room and they got less conscious people than you had in 1990, means in actuality they upped the cloning thing. When I'm trying to tell you, you ain't got no allies. This is some amazing shit here. You see what I'm saying? Now, go get the movie Johnny Mnemonic. Go rent that movie again. I'm gonna go take you through it so you can understand some things. Johnny Mnemonic is a courier who jacks in all this data and this information, and he's holding the key to a new disease they got. And basically what they do is they put this implant in your brain. They insert this information in your brain, and you got to take it from one place to the other place, and you get paid for it. Well, Johnny Mnemonic is running around with the key to the universe in his brain, which is supposed to be the key to this virus. Okay? The key in this particular information represents melanin. He jacks in, and his capacitor is too big to hold this particular information. And they told him he has 48 hours to get it out of his head. Well, go back. Richard King tell you that the white boy takes true melanin, the real potent stuff, because they have to water down the different levels of the melatonin for them. That they will go crazy within 48 hours. So he has to go get this stuff out of his head. Now, in this futuristic world, the only free state, or the only free city is Newark, New Jersey. Because Newark's so fucked up until the people feel it ain't even worth even conquering to even enslave. And majority of Newark is an all-black city down there with a black mayor. You get it? Newark, New Jersey. Now this is one of the keys to that. In order to get it out of his head, he has to go in exile. That's how all messiahs have to go in exile. They got to hide out. They had to hide Luke Skywalker. They had to hide Jinn in the Black Crystal. They always got to hide out in the marshland or the ghetto. So in order for him to get it out of his head, he got to retreat to Newark, and he has to go on the black side of town, which is ruled by Ice-T, which is called LoJacks. And LoJacks basically take the scraps from civilization and make a civilization out of it. That's what we do. We take the scraps and we make a civilization out of it. Well, they also showed you that in the movie Soldier with Kurt Russell. He was abandoned on a trash can planet where they dumped trash, and the civilization lived amongst the trash and made a civilization. That represents black people. The Messiah or the hero always hides out, hero Heru always hides out in the marshland or the deteriorated place or the Badlands. So the Badlands is the underworld that is ruled, appreciate everything, by Ice-T, who is the head of this thing. So the guy has to go and he has to get this thing out of him. Meanwhile, they're trying to cut his head off because it's valuable. That's a part of the whole thing, trying to get that damn pineal gland. Because the records in his head, which is the Cossack records, are the same records they open up in the books in the Bibles, and your name written on the record, and the one who did not have a name on the record was cast in the fiery furnace. Those Akashic records is melanin. The Akashic records is melanin. And those who the name ain't written on the records because they don't have melanin, so they don't have no records.
Damn.
So the records he has in his head, he has to get out of his head, which is melanin. They tried to cut his head off, so they said, oh, we'll send the best assassin ever. They send Darth Lundgren, who is playing Jesus Christ. The greatest assassin ever to black people is Christianity. And we could even say Islam, following a close second. We say Christianity because we are up under that in the modern time. But you just jumping from the pot to the frying pan, as Dr. Ben say with Islam. If you ain't dealing with the mystical side of none of that shit, any religion is fucked up. So they saying Jesus Christ, he quoting scriptures and he's a hitman killing everybody. That's Jesus. He got long hair like Jesus. They're telling you the sign that Jesus is the enemy. So he goes and he got to get it out. And what he has to do, he has to loop it through a person named Jones, who is a dolphin, which represents the fish, which represents melanin, which represents the Christ. And the dolphin and him together represent the two combining forces of inner and outer, bring about this new reality, because they bring out the new information that cures the disease, that cures an assassin who fought with him, this white girl, who represents the sick person in the movie, which is representing the healing of sick black people. It's all in the movie, so get that particular movie and study it again. You see what I'm saying? They even now, they trying to save it, but they even got this black girl that's heading up this crew called Cleopatra 2000. It's Cleopatra, is it 2000?
2025.
Yeah, Cleopatra 2025. But see, what they're not telling you, she got two white girls, but she is Cleopatra. See, that's the mystery in it. Because she's actually the star of the show, because she started off on Hercules and Xena. So in actuality, she is, although they got the three white girls, subconsciously what they're telling you is she is Cleopatra. But that's a ritual. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't give a black woman shit. You best believe that. You see, they don't give it up. Now, this is something I want to deal with right now also too. Now let me get some notes out here. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get some notes right quick. Because inside of you, let's see if this in here. Inside of you is some stuff called collars, especially in the black female. Collars, a time, a digit of the moon, the make of the bright 4 nights and the bright and dark 4 nights. Our word calendar derives from it. The 16 collars are lunar fluids known to the terrestrial science. They are situated in the organism of the black female. Hence, Kali, the goddess of time, which is the black goddess, and time are the collars. So the word collars come from the word Kali, and also there's a literal word collar. You get that all in the Rig Veda. You also get it in the book Serpent Power. Several books of that Arthur Avalon book. There's a lot of books on Hindu mythology deal with Kala and Kali. Kali is the black goddess, but her energy flow is Kala, which is situated in the menstrual blood. The time and the source of energy. Now, it also says it powers spacecraft with the twinkling of an eye. That's talking about energies. We'll get into that. It's not talking about physical spacecraft. It's talking about mermaids, melocene, nymphs, and these little things is nothing but the extraterrestrial civilization within your melanin body. Your body is a whole temple of a civilization of intelligence and actually entities inside your blood cells. So when collars are converted to energy, collars appear to power spacecraft for these particular entities or these energies that enable them to travel infinite distance within the twinkling of an eye. Well, you remember melange, spice, moving without, traveling without moving. Melange, space travel is vital to it, which is melanin. Aging, you don't age with melange. All this is melanin. So this melanin is these collars that is inside of the vaginal fluids and menstrual fluids, but also in the vaginal fluids. We have in us too, but it comes out as semen. But since the woman has an opening, the gateway, it comes out as vaginal fluids and also menstrual on a certain cycle, but also vaginal fluids. Oges, which is answering to something that you dropped on me that I got to tell the people, because black people will top some shit in a few minutes now. I say I got to tell that shit, like my mama said. My mama like, you give us some information and say, Miss Hemmitt, don't tell nobody. As soon as they put down the phone, my mama picked the phone up and said, you got to hear this shit here. And everybody know my mama is the mouth of the South. You tell her, they say telegraph, telephone, tell her Glay, because her name is Glaciria. So tell her Glay. It will travel. My mama retired from teaching school to be a #1 professional gossip. See, there's a dimension that is split over the last 30 years amongst our people. The middle class, or the so-called upper lower class of black people that you call middle class, and the so-called underclass.
Upper, lower, and under.
So as a result, these middle class don't get what's going on the other side of town.
Right.
My mama and them live on the other side of town because you know how it is. We represent, my parents was educated, my grandparents was educated early. So that means that when they settled down, that community was the black community that you couldn't go nowhere. Then you got a later ones that is built outside in the suburbs and on the other side of town. And so they separated from the common folk.
Yeah, they are.
So as a result, my mama got a blind neighbor named Ada, and she got a police scanner. So she get the news and they get the dirt on what's happening on the so-called common folks. My mama get the news of what's happening on the so-called bourgeoisie who all fucked up. And they trade off, and they got a central system where everybody get to know about what's happening with everybody, even if you ain't got a damn link. You see, especially in these small towns. Now, so I gotta tell this story. Olger's energy, specifically occult science, highly radioactive energy. Hence, it is relevant to the new sexual magic that facilitates and traffic of the old ones. Now, this is talking about Olgers, Shaktis, collars, and all these different things for these entities or these particular things that's inside of your body. They're both male and female have, but it is processed through the female because she has the opening, she has the gateway, the vagina. You see what I'm saying? You spend 9 months getting out and the rest of your life getting back in. If you know what's good. Now, you see.
That's right, brother. Come on.
Pussy rules the world. That's why you got a big pussy cat in the middle of the earth called a Sphinx. And it's a woman's face. The holy cat. He's proud of that thing. Now, it's the gateway to another universe. We're going to get into that too. So, Kalis, Shaktis, Olgers, and all these spiritual stuff comes through the vaginal fluid. Also comes out of male and female as urine also too, which is processed blood. Now, every now and then you hear shit in the black community and you say, that's the top stuff. Ain't nobody gonna ever top that. This black man done created the ultimate to tell every people for the rest of your life for 45 years, like Rich Pryor said. I talk about the nigga for 45 years. But every now and then, if you hang around a couple of months, some black person will do something so crazy so he'll top that. Well, I done heard the ultimate topper until this is replaced. And I don't know what can replace this. We probably just blow up or some shit. He said, homeboy, Dean said he had a homeboy that was lost his job, and he ain't looked in the refrigerator and ain't had no food. And was hungry, shaking, and couldn't think of nothing. And he said he just started to call his girlfriend over. I'm surprised he still got a girlfriend. Nigga ain't got no job. Nah, shoot. No, y'all support a lot of broke niggas for years, but you probably just wised up, so I just put it that way. You know. So he called her over, tell her to get naked, and he eats her out for about an hour, right? And then they say he was so full he was about to damn bust after that shit. Then he stayed full for a couple of days, didn't he? For a couple of days. So when he told me this story, I said, man, I done heard it all now. A nigga will do some shit now. A nigga get hungry, he literally go and eat some, and I ain't talking about a figurative speech. This nigga literally ate and swallowed up all the damn juices. I said, I done heard it all now. said, you get full off this. And I was like, well, based on the metaphysical science, all the stuff that's in the universe is in the melanin, and he ate the shit and said the nigga was full for days.
Days, man. Like 3-4 days.
About to bust. I said, I done heard it all now. So this is some crazy shit. To get to that extreme level that your mind gotta say, go eat some. But it could have been spiritual, like you never know. I mean, but it tells you something about the energy that is contained in the human body. You see what I'm saying? But that's some amazing shit, boy. I done heard it all now. But that's something else. Now, I want to get into this based on David Icke, because a lot of people are getting his information. And David Icke is this guy, got a book out, The Biggest Secret, Robots Rebellion, The True Self Set You Free. A lot of people are listening to his tapes, and he is dead on the money when it comes to conspiracy. But that ain't nothing new. Hell, Honorable Elijah Muhammad told you 60 years ago that the white man was a devil, so that mean that cover all damn shit that this motherfucker's out to get your ass. So it shouldn't be new to know that there's secret societies that's ruling over you. I mean, it don't take a rocket science to know that shit.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? But he's dead on the money with conspiracy, because that's to convince white people we already knew that this motherfucker wasn't shit. You see what I'm saying? Even the biggest Uncle Toms in their mind know that that cracker can fuck over them at any time. He's just a chicken shit person and too weak to stand on his own.
That's right.
But he know. Ain't nobody that stupid. You see what I'm saying? And for the mere fact that they are Uncle Tommy, that means that they realize the power of the damn cracker that's making them so scared. Otherwise, they wouldn't turn for him.
Yeah.
So David Icke is dealing with all this stuff, but David Icke is an agent for the Illuminati. See, that's one of their keys. They understand that they can put out shit talking shit about themselves. Number one, because that's the book, The Cult Technology of Power. I'm telling you, if you better get a hold of some of these books. I mean, this shit here is not for print. And I'm not trying to sell this stuff, but I'm just saying. Somebody bring you a book, they inside book. You see what I'm saying? And in there they say that's the key. See, one of the mysteries here is, if you can make the people think that they're in control, so you even can unveil a conspiracy. You see, unmask the conspiracy, and that will make the people think that they are in control. So for the simple fact that they told you about the conspiracy, you still think I got it together because I done found out about these people that's ruling over us. And that gives them more fuel to rule over your ass. For the mere fact, that's because they're playing on your ego. They know that in actuality, most people, they're not going to really do nothing about it. Especially if you warn them enough that they know about it, they feel comfortable now. You see what I'm saying? They think they know about the conspiracy. You can tell them, and that is a part of the conspiracy. So David Icke is a government agent. Now, number two, he talks about these people manipulating bloodlines, and these bloodlines of these people and these reptilians. Anytime you hear the word reptilian, that is nothing but the staff of Tahuti and the Kundalini people, or the serpentine fire of the Uraeus people that you see all the people in Kemet with the serpent on their head, which means the black dot, and the people with the melanin and the pineal gland. The head of the serpent is the pineal gland, and the Kundalini reptilian people is nothing but you. So in actuality, it is the Illuminati training you to look at them to think that they are the doggone enemy. Meanwhile, the terminology is suggesting you, and you turn against yourself subconsciously. So the Draconians, Typhonians, the Reptilians, that is nothing. So he's taking an esoteric symbol of the makeup of your body and literally trying to say it's some people that shapeshift into this snake-like people. So he gives you the sensationalism, and you can't draw the parallel because most people, not black or white, are not esoterically trained to understand esoteric symbology. So symbology, he's talking about you. And that's the government agent. So even when he went to get the guy Quaker Mutwa, which is the guy from Africa, he was coaching the guy, when the guy was talking about this Chichawari, which are these people that rule over us, he was talking about another thing. He was talking about ancient mythology of these particular classes of entities that rule over the physical realm, which is called the demiurge. And those are basically your solar deities that has held the, what is called the, those are your seraphim that have held the cherubic deities in check. That's a whole nother history. But he's taken an ancient mythology, which I explained, called it the Alabra, Yahweh, and these other entities that is ruling over us that we worship, that you call the gods a god. And he's turning it around, and you're thinking it's some people, Queen of England and George Bush. So the guy, Kwaitamutu, I was talking about a whole nother history that the mythology of the South Africans is talking about. And he is talking about this whole reptilian and George Bush and all. Them ain't nothing but crackers. You see what I'm saying? So in so many ways, he's telling this guy to tell the mythology, and he's packaging it all in his little propaganda, and he's basically the Illuminati talking about you. You are the reptilian race that's going to rise up. Now, I say one thing about the Quaker Mutua, other than his little thing about the Chitarawi and stuff like that, he's dead on the money based on the history of South Africa. He really goes up into that. You see what I'm saying? But if Quaker Mutua is saying that he was abducted by aliens, that means in actuality he was abducted by the government. Because he talks about the same bug-eyed suits, because there ain't no goddamn aliens coming from no other planet to abduct nobody, and they don't come to the hood. But ain't nobody coming from no other planet abducting no white people. Always seem to be white people. Now, who the hell gonna come from another planet, pass over the guards, and come to a person that don't even exist, a mutant, a clump of pus, who cannot live outside of the physical realm any damn way? That's some bullshit. That's white people. That's the government. You see what I'm saying? Why would a god need a spaceship in the first place? But we know that the god's body is a spaceship in what the spiritual realm is talking about, an ancient mythology, but not no physical tin can. You see what I'm saying? So even when you come to the Kundalini people or the reptilian people, which is the Christ people, you see the staff of Tahuti, which most people know of it as a medical association. But in the middle, you got the black dot, which is the pineal gland. You hear in the Bible when they say Jesus is coming, or Christ is coming with healing in his wings. Well, that right there lets you know what the Christ is, your pineal gland and nothing more. And the energy that comes from the seat of your bowels is set on the throne, which is in the lower intestinal tract, which is the Christ energy ready to take its seat in the pineal area. But the healing in the wings is talking about the staff of Tahuti. You know it as the medical association symbol, and that is the third eye, so that is the only damn Christ there is. Christos. You see. So we used to heal ourselves overnight. I mean major things, especially when we was in our melanated environment. We used to heal ourselves overnight. Now, but what happened was, is the book's called the Vampire Masquerade, coming out of White Wolf Publishing. And they got they got those different supplement books, and they also talk about the Methuselahs, and they talk about how they are the ancient ones, and the vampires you got now is watered down ones. Well, in so many words, they're talking about here, they're talking about, they fuse our history into the whole vampire genre and jargon. And so it's actually the Methuselahs, which everybody is scared of and all, in actuality is talking about an ancient race of black people who are pure. But they're saying over the generations and generations, we have been watered down to the point where, especially on the environment and thinking and thought, because the thought is basically what melanin is, and how it operates, to the point where we can't heal ourselves overnight like we used to do. And when we get into this melanin thing in a few minutes, you're going to really see that the entire situation, they work around the clock to stop the melanin people. That's their number one focus. That is how their whole survival is based on that. So Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to say, they work when we sleep, and they're thinking, well, literally, they're doing this. And so we're going to go to the whole melanin wars thing also, so you can understand this thing also, too, tonight also. So also the bright fluorescent lights that's in the schools. You know, they talking all this shit about, they got 90% of all the students that they talking about around them, well, 80% or 70% is all drugged up on this Ritalin and shit. Right. They talked about it on 2020 on one of the things the other night. And they was telling this thing because they're acting up and they can't learn. But what it is, they got them big fluorescent lights. And they put those lights up in there so black people can't learn. Because if you got those fluorescent lights, the melanin don't synthesize. It stays dormant. So the black students can't learn under them lights. And I know as far back as when I was in school, you see what I'm saying? And I was in first grade in like 67. You see what I'm saying? They had them then. And the room I was in was old when I got there. So they had these shits for years. Maybe on back into the 40s. So they know under them lights you can't learn properly. You see what I'm saying? And they know that if you don't do homework, you know you're not going to do nothing if you don't get in no dark. If you just depend on the school. So those bright lights, not only that, they make you behave violently. You see? Those fluorescent lights. And as a result, they got to get the white people Ritalin and shit to calm them down because it's mostly white people on, although they give a lot of black people some other shit to fuck them up. But they know that they can't have a learning environment with melanin people because we would outdo them. But it's under the goddamn lights. And that's one of the keys. See, we never tapped into that. Them big-ass fluorescent lights, because the melanin does not work in light. It's a night hormone, especially in artificial light. That's the whole key. And it's interesting you said that, because that's on my next damn page in a few minutes. Now, it's interesting you said that. I got it right here on my next page. Now, that's spiritual. Because I was going to tell you, you got to check out the movie Gremlins. Now, we get in that in a few minutes. So they're giving them these, as a matter of fact, it's the top shit. If you see that right there, it'll let you know I ain't. What that shit say? Gremlins. It say Gremlins? Okay now. And I can't spell what the fuck, but to let you know that I ain't trying to piggyback off what you say. It's right there, so that shit is working. That's the spirit. Right. When you coming up with some stuff, you see it right there. It say Gremlin, right? Put it on the camera. Whatever. All right, then. That's it. The next page I turn to is what you just said. Now, the Gremlins, they told you, don't feed them at night. Right. They say, no, they say, don't get them wet. Never ever feed them after midnight. And don't get them around bright lights. Bright lights kill them. The Gremlins was black people. Steven Spielberg is a highly advanced occultist. I told you that. Get the book Black Sun, Peter Moon. They got all them crackers' asses. Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, even your boy Mark Hamill, when they had that big butt slide. You know, they had a fire in California in the early 90s. His shit was the only house that didn't burn up because he did some rituals. Yeah. They're all occultists. You see. So also the monster on the Gremlins, the one that had the white mohawk, that was stolen from a black guy. The one I went to the Stripe. That's the one that was stolen from a black guy that I lectured with in he had me to come lecture in Harlem. The last year I've been lecturing for him. It was stolen from, he was a commercial artist, and Steven Spielberg and them stole his shit.
Wasn't it the water that made it transfer from
yeah, it was the water. They say don't get them wet. Melanin works through water. You see, I've been saying that for years. I've been saying that, you know, since 97. Melanin works through water, so don't get them wet. When they drop that water on them, melanin start multiplying and they group. That's why the #1 key is to dehydrate you.
They went into the cocoon.
They went into the cocoon stage. But first they popped up out of him. Now what was he? He was a timid little shy gizmo. That's just like the little black man. Poor little old black man. Black woman. Just, you know, good old people. Just glad to be here. But there's a monster on the inside of you that the white man knows. If you tap into the melanin, that's called the monster of souls. And it is a killer. You see, so all that was in the actual movie. They went into the cocoon stage, and then the other one came out, and he was no bullshit. He would say, fuck these crackers. Now, but little Mr. Gizmo, he a little Uncle Tom bastard, because he done forgot who he was. He been dormant too long. He been in the human phase too long. He thinking everybody, just glad to be here. Yeah. A pet, like the Richard Pryor toy. Ain't we domestic animals that was bred from the white man on the breeding farms? Bred to dance and sing. Bred to, you know, just to sing. Play golf. Play football.
Yep.
We bred to do all that shit. Or bred to work for him and his corporations. That's an animal. A monster. Anytime you work for a motherfucker and you give your life to a person and you can't benefit your own community, you a child or you a domestic dog. You ain't nothing but a mule or workhorse. It don't matter if you got a PhD or what. If it's a PhD for the benefit of his civilization, then that's what the shit is about. You see what I'm saying? Now, little Gizmo all sweet. The other one come up, he said, damn these crackers. Let's kill all of them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He even killed the brother, because the brother didn't know who the hell he was. You see? Very key. It's all in there. It's all in there. Let's see. Let's see, what else? Boom, boom, boom. We got all that covered. Now, let's go into these melanin documents. Well, since we're on the subject of melanin, let's go into these documents on melanin, because we need to understand some other stuff based on the melanin thing. These are melanin. Go into some of these documents. Meet melanin, life-giving molecule. Now, a 3 billion-year-old molecule. How science unlocked the molecule secrets. We'll go into that in a few minutes. It is the best antioxidant. It says it unsuppressed protein against dangerous free radicals. So that also, free radicals, ain't that the cancer thing? Also, boost the immune system. Now, everything I'm telling you what melanin does help you, black people got. Ain't that a bitch? You the one that's walking around with the melanin in you. These are the reports that they say it prevents and helps, but yet everything they say is preventing and help, black people all fucked up with. And you got it in your body. Boost immune system. Melanin's remarkable healing potential. So that also goes back to those who go in the hospital, die.
Yep.
That's what hospitals are. To heal white people, cure black people, but also use black people as guinea pig research for white civilization. Bottom line. That's all you are. But you was bred. Now they breed mice. Now they breed chinchillas and shit for fur coats. Well, they wearing your ass with sunglasses. Maybe some melanin leather. Now watch the shit come out. Some melanin leather on your ass for UV rays. I'm telling you now. So when the shit come out, you remember you got it from me first. Okay? A new hope for AIDS patients. How melanin may help combat HIV. Well, damn, the #1 recipient of AIDS in the country is the black woman. Which would also tell you the #1, first of all, there's no such thing as AIDS. So if they're killing you with the AZT, then they're all right, because the melanin would scare the shit out of AIDS if you had it. See how they tell you? It's all in what they say. Okay. Taming the savage cell. Your built-in protection against cancer. Black people is riddled with cancer. Okay? Protecting your heart. How melanin affects cholesterol and blood pressure. Black people got high cholesterol and high blood pressure. Well, my goodness, if the melanin protects that, what the hell are you doing with it? And how is it they say they gonna take a watered-down pill to help white people with this shit when you got the thorough shit in you? Then that ought to let you know something. Your whole health care and everything you got is based on the white man giving it to you. Or in some inadvertent way, through the water system, through the foods, and through every other damn thing. Because in here, all the stuff that they say is supposed to heal everything in the world is melanin, but yet you are the most sick. Unlocking the sleep gate, the natural defense of sleep aid. We're going to get into that. taking a lag out of the shift of work and jet lag. A master sex